Clippers have gone all in on Paul George. The Clippers and George have agreed to a 4-year max extension that is worth $190 million. That locks him in alongside Kawhi Leonard, who still has another 2 years on his current deal with the Clippers. So, Shannon, how surprised were you by this extension?
Well, Skip, it makes sense for Paul George because you get long-term financial security. And I guess for the Clippers, considering what they gave up, they basically mortgaged their future. Kawhi was a free agent. You didn't have to give up anything. Kawhi came there voluntarily. But in order to get Kawhi a sidekick, you had to trade Gallinari and Gilgeous-Alexander and 4 or 5 #1 draft picks. So basically, your future until 2026, you got no future when it comes to the draft.
Yep.
So I guess this is what you had to do, Skip. And if worse come to worse, you can trade him and try to recruit some of that back. It's very difficult to trade someone if he's about to be a free agent and he doesn't make a long-term, he's not willing to make a long-term commitment to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it on both of their parts, you know, Paul George and Kawhi. But Skip, I'm confused. This max money should go to the top list, and I get there guys getting max money, and I get it. But Skip, when I look at Paul George in his last 5 elimination games, he's averaging 20 points, 37% field goal shooting. He has a 1-4 record. And Game 7 against Denver, he had 10 points, 4-16. Now, I know what Paul George did his first couple of years in the league, going head-to-head with LeBron in Miami with D-Wade and Bosh. I remember that. But I also remember what happened those last 2 years in Indiana. I also remember what happened when he was in OKC, when Russ dropped 45 and he hit 5. I remember that.
Russ 45 versus Donovan's 44, whatever he was. Right?
And Paul George laid an egg.
Yep.
So
he did.
And I thought, Skip, when you gave somebody that kind of money, you're banking on what they're going to be moving forward.
Yep.
What has convinced you that Paul George in the playoffs, because that's where you get that, if you're giving that guy that money, what are you going to be in the playoffs? I just, like I said, it makes sense for Paul George. Hell, anybody, you'd be foolish not to take that kind of money. That long, that's guaranteed.
I mean, the last year is almost $50 million.
And then no accountability. It's everybody else's fault. The way Doc was using me. Doc had me using me like I was J.J. Redick, pin downs, all this. Bruh, Doc
By
ain't...
the way, did you see Doc's response on ESPN today?
Yeah, I love it. I love Doc.
Yeah, and Doc was saying, wait, I was using him like I used Ray Allen. He said, you know, Ray Allen was really good. Maybe Paul should say, thank you.
Yeah.
Right?
So who made him hit the side of that backboard? Who made him shoot 4-16? So that was Doc's fault. Remember, he missed that layup. He had a point-blank layup, and then he just dropped it, just like, it's one of those things. I get it for Paul George. Skip, that's $226 million over the next 5 years. I get that. But for the Clippers, whoo.
Okay. So, as usual, I see this completely upside down from the way you do. I was hoping that Paul George would bet on himself the way Kawhi is about to bet on himself again and have what you call a contract year, where you could play it out and become free again after this coming basketball season, right?
Right.
Kawhi is about to do that. Now, you can argue it's smart on his part. He's a little more advanced in age than Paul is.
Right.
And so he's got those bird rights where you could max out by becoming a free agent and then re-signing with the Clippers, you could make more money.
Right.
Paul had a chance right here, right now, to go big on the 4-year extension. The last year's at his option for $50 million.
Right.
So he said, I wanted security.
Right.
That speaks to who he is and who he's not, because he's like, man, I don't know. I wasn't very good in the
Exactly.
He's thinking, they're going to offer me this?
Right.
I'll take it.
After the playoff, the pandemic, P, they saw they gonna give me 190.
Or as you called him, playoff PEE.
Yeah,
right?
that's what he was.
He was. I do not disagree. Now, here's another point of contention I have with what you're saying. Why would the Clippers do this? You know why? Because
you got no choice.
Okay, no, but he is a complimentary star.